So I committed my life to Christ when I was 19 years old and had no idea what that meant fully for the rest of my life, what that would look like, how it would manifest throughout my life. But I quickly, within a few years, my husband, Nate, became a pastor and knew he wanted to commit his life full time to ministry. And during that time, we had a youth center and a coffee shop that we owned, and we were running those and kind of ministering to our community through those, that business and nonprofit. Felt good about that. We did that for about 5 years. And afterwards I thought, okay, Lord, where am I going to go? How am I going to be used from this point on? So I always had a passion for health and nursing. And so I became a registered nurse, did that for 10 years, got to a point where I was a school nurse in my kids' school, loved what I was doing, really felt like that was where I belonged. That's what God had for my life. And then we were asked if we would consider a position in missions. During the previous 10 years, my husband was a missions pastor, and our family was very involved in missions, not in a full-time capacity, but we went on missions trips. We were connected to different organizations throughout the U.S., connected to Global Strategy missionaries in Europe and the Middle East, and had some opportunities to travel and connect with missionaries, connect with pastors on the ground and other believers throughout the region. We also spent a fair amount of time in Central America and connected with a children's home there. And we eventually adopted our youngest two daughters from Costa Rica. So we always had kind of a missional mindset, and we're definitely interested in missions, but I didn't really see myself as a career missionary or as a full-time missionary. And I actually had become pretty content in my life. I loved what I was doing. Nate loved his position at a church as a missions pastor. And so when we were asked, I kind of had to really think and pray and process. And I asked God over and over again for confirmation that we were stepping into, if we did step into this, that it would be His will. And I knew that, and Nate knew that we would only do this if we really felt called to missions. So as I was prayerfully considering this over and over again through some very simple ways, but also some very strange ways, we did receive that confirmation. And I personally received confirmation that this was the right next step for us. A lot of our life experiences built into giving us the skills and some knowledge and just relationships that benefited us as we stepped into the missionary role. So we were very thankful for that. One night, and this was kind of like the last time that I asked God, if, is this really what you have for our lives, our family? Because it is a big decision. I had been praying about it. It was late one night on a Wednesday night. It was actually October 31st, and our kids were at youth group. They came home, and Nate and I had just been having a discussion about, okay, how can I be sure? How can we have this, firm knowledge that this is the right next step for us? And one of our daughters, when she came home from youth group, she said, "Oh, I had the coolest message. We had the coolest message in youth group tonight." And it was the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And the piece that was pulled out and kind of emphasized in the message that night was that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they, when they were, told that they could either choose to bow down, to man, or they could choose to step into the fiery furnace, not comparing missionary life to the fiery furnace, but when they were given that choice, they said, "We know that our God can deliver us from this. But even if He doesn't, we're still going to go. We're still going to be faithful in this. We have no guarantees, but we know He can deliver us, and we know He will be there with us." And so, we know the end of the story. They walked out of the furnace, and it just really gave me a peace, because I had just been having that conversation, like, how can I know? How can I know? And it gave me the confidence to say, I don't know all the details. I don't know that everything is going to work out. I don't know that in every situation we're going to be taken care of, and the sacrifice is always going to feel worth it. But I know that I can trust God, and I know that He will be here with us every step we take.
Thanks for listening to A World of Good. A World of Good is a podcast production of Global Strategy and Church of God Ministries. Our theme song is Colorado by Leo Flores. If you want to join the conversation, visit us on Instagram, A World of Good Podcast, or visit our website, chogglobal.org/A World of Good. And join us next time as we share more stories of good from around the world.